Hi, this is Michael again, doing a quick review of Toyota Avalon. This is a 2005 model. This is well, I would say this almost the top of the line XLS model. It's got the leather, doesn't have the wear wind, you know, the rare wind visor that some of these models have. But I got this probably about maybe just shy of a year ago. And when I got this car, it did have a lot of work that needed to be done to it, which I'm going to go through a list of all that. You can see this here. Uh, got it with that. It does have a few scuffs and marks on it. But one thing that I did like when I got the car was the interior was pretty good. The leather was was quite didn't have any rips in the leather. The body was still pretty straight. A few scratches here and there, but it is a 2005 vehicle, and the paintwork is still quite good. After a nice wash, I noticed that the paint sort of stood out. It had quite some issues before I could get it inspected to pass, and I'll go through that list. I had to change the brakes, all four brake discs had to be changed. All four wheel bearings had to be changed. So that was quite expensive. I also had to change the struts. All four struts were no good. The car was barely driving on the struts that it had. And that's just with the suspension. I think I had to also change. What did I have to change in the front? Not sure if it was. I know there's a couple of parts I had to change up front as well. Oh yeah, the caliper. One of the calipers was stuck, and I had to change that. That was a bit of a problem because when we tried getting it off, it was just stuck. It wouldn't come off. So that was an issue. Um, so it's been a bit of a journey with this car. I didn't anticipate spending as much as I did on the vehicle, but these are excellent cars. The backdrop was we had a Toyota Highlander, which belonged to my brother in law. That car had almost done 300,000 miles. Excuse me, the engine sort of went south on us. And so when we ended up giving that away, we went looking for an Avalon. We wanted this generation Avalon. The idea was that my son would drive this car, um, but he has a lot of gear, musical gear, so he tends to use our Honda Odyssey much more than this. So I've kind of taken over this, and I'm actually enjoying this car because it rides nice. It's become more or less my commuter car. Gas mileage is pretty good. I'm averaging 23 miles in town on a long ride. I've averaged almost 27, 26.5, 27 on the longer ride. So as part of me putting this car together to ensure that it's running in tip-top condition, what I wanted to do a couple of things. The water pump was making a lot of noise, so that had to be open up. That had to be changed. So I changed the water pump. We then found out that the valve cover gaskets were leaking, and so we changed the valve cover gaskets. But one or two things happened. We either didn't do a great job changing it, or oh, you can see there. This is the 2GRFE V6 engine. Very good engine. Oh, forgot. Changed the motor mount too. Front motor mount. So we have changed the valve cover gaskets, um, but uh, it's whatever we did, it's not working that well because I am smelling oil burning off. So I believe we either didn't get the right parts or we didn't do a good job. So we're going to go back in the next couple of days and put in Fel Pro valve cover gaskets, and hopefully that should do the trick. But while we were in there, we also changed the spark plugs. So now we have NGK iridium spark plugs in this vehicle, and those are supposed to be pretty good. Actually, since we changed the spark plugs, the car is running a lot more responsive, and I can tell a difference in gas mileage as well. I think it's getting maybe about 2 miles per gallon better than it was prior. Um, I would like the motor, for rather the engine, to be a little quieter. I changed all the belts, but you know what? At this point, it's fine. It's running pretty decent, and it's very quiet on the highway. So I'm satisfied with that. I just need to get this valve cover gasket done. Oh, the other thing with this was that I noticed that the transmission would slip ever so slightly. Not, you know, the gear changes were pretty smooth, but ever so slightly, I'd feel like a hesitation. I didn't want to take any chances, nor did I want to have to change the trans on this car, which was a pretty penny. So what I did was I changed the transmission oil. I used Valvoline Max, which has always been good with me. I've never had any issues with that transmission oil, especially with the imports. And I added Lucas Transfix additive. That's something else that I've used a lot. I've never had any issues with that. Always been good. I've done the change 2 times. So I've taken the oil out, put new oil back in again with the additive twice so far. The changes have gotten better. I'm going to do it a third time, and I'm hoping that that should reduce any of the trans hesitation that I've had. It's not bad. It changes smoothly, but for me, I notice when the change is not as smooth as I want it to be, and that's why I've done that. So again, it's Toyota Avalon, third generation, 2005. Um, we got this car, had a lot of work that needs to be done with it. You can see I still need to get working on the headliner. That's one problem that these cars can have. But otherwise, as a commuter car or as a nice cruiser, this vehicle is definitely a good one, and I would definitely recommend it. My first time having this, or long term, and she's definitely one that I would recommend for sure. Okay, all right, bye.